Hello people of the internet, welcome to RDTV today. My name's Paul and I'm driving a wonderful Caterham in Assetto Corsa. Benno Bro has been working his magic once again and he's updated the wonderful 1995 Caterham Super 7 Sprint to come complete in clamshell configuration. Please note that is not the car that is on the screen behind us now. Basically, Benno Bro has become a bit of a master at the Caterham cars for Assetto Corsa, and he's revisited his 2017 created Caterham Super 7 Sprint. He's put some physics changes into the bag, making hopefully a even further improved driving experience. He's brought the clamshell design, complete with spare wheel, attached to the back of the car. He's updated it for the very popular Assetto Corsa Night mod and a whole host of other miscellaneous improvements, changes and fixes for what is already a very fine car in the wonderful Assetto Corsa sim. A wise man once told me you can never have enough Caterhams in your life, and that has never been a truer word spoken. Benno Bro has worked magic and worked wonders on this beautiful, iconic little British brand, and I'm very excited to see what the Caterham clamshell is like in AC now the new update has been released. We're going to give it the usual talk and drive treatment. We're going to take it around a track in AC, have a little bit of fun, see what's changed, see what's improved, and as always, for what it's worth, share our opinions on this probably one of the most iconic, important, popular, well regarded and highly used club racing cars in the whole of Great Britain. Caterham is a fabulous brand that has been the launchpad to many driving careers and many amateur drivers' smiles by the miles fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what the clamshell's like in AC, and I hope as always that you enjoy the video, and if you can, give me a like and a subscribe on our Twitch and YouTube. That would be awesome. Okay, sit back, relax, let's see what this little thing is like thrown about on the tracks of Assetto Corsa. Right guys, hello, and here we are, we're on track and we're ready to go in the new clamshell Caterham Super 7 Sprint by Benno Bro for Assetto Corsa. Now, those of you who are familiar with Ben's work and his Caterhams will know that the Super 7 Sprint from 1995 is already a thing and has been for a couple of years now. But a recent update deployed in the last days has brought this, the clamshell variant of the car, to that particularly excellent Super 7. Now the clamshell variant basically has what you can see in front of me, the really nice old school looking 60s style front windshield, a whole load of chrome, some slightly extended mudguard slash wheel arch type things, and a spare tyre on the back of the car. So it's a very unique looking Caterham, something that I'm personally really excited to try out, because this is a car that reminds me of my youth. It's a car that I hankered after heavily for a long time when I was younger, convinced that one day I would have one of these in my very own garage when I grew up and became a man. Sadly, those dreams were never realised till today, where I get the virtual version in Assetto Corsa. It's a beautiful little car and it's very welcome to the ever-growing list of Caterhams. Change down gear, Paul. It's a very welcome addition to the ever-growing list of Caterhams that Ben's producing for AC. Now, the 1997 Super Sprint model has received this, as I say, in the last few days. The remaining cars within that pack have not yet been touched, so it's just an addition of the clamshell that we're driving now. Good job that spare tyre's on the back, because I've just clouted the rear of the car in front, and I'm sure we've saved an expensive repair bill by smacking into the rubber. So it's it's really cool for me personally to see this clamshell appear in AC, and it's one of my personal favourites just because of the memories it holds for me. There are objectively better looking Caterhams released before and after this clamshell, and I appreciate the old style windshield and the acres of chrome on the car, and not to everyone's taste, but it's just what it means to me because I've spent so long poring over automotive magazines at the time and watching TV programs on this particular car. I'm really excited to finally get the opportunity to get behind the wheel of it, even if it is only the virtual version in Assetto Corsa. And actually, interestingly, Ben states that he's owned this car in real life, and that's what kickstarted his passion for bringing these mods to Assetto Corsa. So actually, in reality, this Caterham clamshell has got a wonderful thing to answer for, because if it wasn't for Ben once upon a time purchasing this car, we wouldn't have the outstanding mods in AC that we have today. While I'm talking about mods for a second, I'll just quickly shout out to the track. We're racing at Caterham, which is a little known British venue. Doesn't really hold much in the way of top level motorsport anymore now, but it's very much a typical British club racing circuit, and as such I thought that would be a nice thing to have and to add to what is a very typical British club racing car. The Super 7 clamshell that we're driving feels a little bit like the car that time forgot. Caterham feels a little bit like the track that time forgot. So they make a very nice combination. They complement each other. It's a track I've been to a couple of times myself. It's very short on facilities, but chock-a-block full of character, just like the Caterham Super 7 Sprint. Not much in the way of tech or creature comforts, just got everything that you need to have a real good driving experience. So car and track make a good combination. This is a track I've only literally found the last couple of days, didn't know it was out for AC, so super chuffed to put these two together really, and have a little bit of fun and relive some of my youth through the power of computing technology. Now this update is out, it's out now, so if you head over to RaceDepartment.com you'll find the updated Caterham Super 7 Sprint with a clamshell body styling that we're driving now, available to download and give it a try for yourself. And I implore you, please do so. It's a different driving experience than the other Caterhams, a very good one at that. It's a little bit unique in the way it looks. It's low on horsepower, relatively speaking, but because the car weighs practically nothing, it's still a nippy little thing, but it really likes being thrown around. It really likes being given some hammer, getting sideways in the corners. It's massively controllable, so it's very difficult to spin this thing out. You've got to make sure you got the right gear on corner exit, otherwise you're going to bog down like nobody's business. But it's a fun little driver's car, as basically exactly what Caterham's unique selling point is. They are entry-level, affordable, fun driver's car. A sports car for the discerning customer on a budget that doesn't want a Ferrari, but still wants to be able to go fast and potentially even take it out on the circuit, which is an absolutely fabulous recipe. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, one of the many reasons that makes this small mark such an important one in road and race car production. To be honest, they've given opportunities for people who otherwise wouldn't have had them to get out on the racetrack and have a lot of good fun, or to get out on the roads and have some fun as well. The Caterham Academy series, which is also a mod by the way that Ben O'Bro has brought to Assetto Corsa, is often absolutely jam-packed full of people signed up to race in it. The racing's incredible. The cars are relative being a relative word, relatively cost effective, still phenomenally expensive for the average Joe, but in motorsport terms, not too badly priced at all. And for the money that you pay, the amount of track action that you get is very difficult to beat. The quality of the cars and the competition, the event organisation, and the racing, of course, is very difficult to match for that kind of price indeed. And the virtual versions are also a whole bagload of fun. This one, as I say, is a little bit more sedate than some of the other Caterhams that Ben's brought to the sim up to this stage, but it's very welcomed indeed. So thank you, Ben, if you're watching this, for all the Caterhams that you brought, but in particular one from my boyhood dreams, this Clamshell. I look back now, and if I'm perfectly honest, it's not the kind of styling that I go for. It's just because I was mesmerised by it so much when I was a wee nipper. So really glad to see it in Assetto Corsa. And now you'll be asking, how does it fare up in terms of a driving experience to the other Caterhams within the sim? Well, I can tell you now, it's a very satisfying experience indeed. The cars feel absolutely beautiful, as I would expect. They're a fantastic driving experience. Force feedback on this direct drive wheel that I'm running at the moment is lovely jubbly. They behave very nicely. I've got a lot of forces at varying different strengths coming through the wheel, trying to tell me what the car's up to, and they're all very sensible, very enjoyable. Force feedback is, as I would expect from a Ben O'Bro Caterham, excellent, very nice indeed. I've got a lot of fine detail going on. I don't think this Caterham track is has got the most advanced road mesh on it, so it's not giving me absolutely everything that's going on, but the way the car's transferring what is happening and telling me about what is happening is excellent. So very satisfied. It's on a par for me, physics wise and force feedback wise, with any of the other Caterhams that Ben O'Bro has brought to the sim already. And if you've watched any of my previous videos where we've looked at some of those cars, you will know that I believe Ben O'Bro is something of a master at this kind of thing. So the standard he's already set himself with the other cars is incredibly high, and there is high praise indeed if I say this car, in my opinion, is as good as the other ones in the collection, because the other ones in the collection are rather fabulous. So, shifted down a gear too much then, but we got away with that. It's all good stuff. That's the danger of using a sequential shifter, is without the heads-up display on, you never know what gear you're in. And I thought I was in a gear higher than I needed to be. So yeah, physics-wise, excellent, as I would have expected it to be. Really good quality. Force feedback is really high quality as well. The car feels like a car. It doesn't feel like a representation of something that's happening. It's doing what I would expect a car to do. It's telling me what I would expect the car to tell me in these sorts of situations. And of course, because Ben's got actual real world experience with a car, that gives him a unique advantage in knowing how the behaviours should be within the mod compared to the real world version. So that's also absolutely something that you can't guarantee. Many of the mods that we see are for exotic cars, and you can research and you can get data and you can even ask opinions of people who've driven the real thing, but absolutely nothing can compare to genuine first-hand real world experience. And that's something Ben's got with this car, and I think it's fair to say that shines through in the mod. It does do everything I would expect a car like this would do when driven larily on a circuit like Caterham, which we're doing today. So yeah, no complaints whatsoever. Very pleased and impressed with force feedback and physics of this Caterham Super 7 Sprint Clamshell Edition. Top stuff, top marks, as I have come to expect from anything that Ben O'Bro turns his hand to or lends a helping hand with. Now moving on to the 3D model. Again, reputation precedes the gentleman here. The detail is fantastic, as you would expect. It looks really nice. It's got some lovely little touches here and there when you have a look around the car, both in the cockpit. We'll straight like that chicane because we're a bit late on the turning. You look at the detail in the internal cockpit, or you look at the external model as well. The little details are lovely. There's a dirty windshield. We've not got it on this version, but when you go for the one with a more traditional front windscreen, gone down a gear too early again. It's really, really mucky. It feels like a well-used club racing car, which is exactly what it is. And I like things like that. I like the dirty windshield. Makes it feel like I'm looking through a piece of glass. This piece of glass has yellowed slightly. Again, giving you that impression that it's not just an outline of glass that's been drawn onto a blank space, but you're actually looking through something proper. You're looking through perspex or glass or whatever it is. I assume it's glass that they use on this. The shine he's got on the chrome looks really good. The way the body muckies up, the dashboard is nice, it's accurate, it's very neatly put together. The model of the car itself looks superb. It's all to a really high quality. I can't pick fault with anything really. It looks perfect. Really good job, as I would expect from what Ben O'Bro's delivered up to this point. Both the work he's put in with his Caterhams, and also he's been involved in track projects as well and helping out other authors in some of their monumental track projects, and the quality just shines through in everything he does. It seems like he's, and I might be doing you a disservice here, Ben, if you're watching, so my apologies, but he seems a little bit less high profile in terms of his presence in sim racing compared to some of the other more visibly apparent modders within our wonderful little niche. Ben is, make no mistake, Ben is absolutely, in terms of quality, up there with the very best car modders in Assetto Corsa. And that comes through fully with each and every Caterham mod that he's had a hand in producing. So yeah, make no bones about it, Ben O'Bro is, without doubt, one of the finest of a very fine crop of sim racing modders in Assetto Corsa. And that's going some, because we've got an absolute wealth of talent within our community out there. Some of the quality is absolutely dazzling as some of the mods that we've seen in the last 2, 3, 4 years. And the bar just seems to be getting raised almost on a weekly basis. I mean, I could basically make videos every day until I'm 50 on latest content that's come out for the various sims, and I would have more videos to make than time available in which to make them. It's a great time. It's a great time to be in sim racing. It's a great time to be an appreciator of good quality track, car, apps and miscellaneous mods, because the talent out there in the community is just staggering. And this here car, this here Clamshell Caterham Super 7 Sprint is testament to that talent and the talent of Ben O'Bro, as I've completely made a hash of the last turn. Now I'm under pressure for my position from the guy behind, but we'll stick to the outside, we'll brave it out, we'll max out the revs, and we've just got enough legs to get back in front before we get to this first major braking event of the lap, which we've also done a little bit wrong, but we're still in touch with the cars in front, and we're still ahead of that chap behind who's very much looking to find one of the many bus-sized gaps to the apex that I am leaving here. really nice, you know, to drive Caterham. These are a good combination, these cars. There's some little bumps, it cambers away and drops into a little bump there in that corner, and that's really nice. It felt quite nicely through the steering wheel. These cars have got modelled suspension, so they look really sweet in the replays. I did a little sound test just before laying this video down and watched the replay of that and the replay I recorded to do the voiceover at the beginning of the video. These cars look wicked as they bumping and dipping around the track as they're getting it turned into the corner and the car's leaning on its suspension and tyres. It looks awesome. The replays in Assetto Corsa, credit where credit's due, often do a great job of making the on-track action that you've participated in look good. And then these Caterhams look doubly good the way they've been put together. So that makes some good opportunities to do some replay watching. And now look, now we've caught back up the cars in front, so we are in a motor race at long last after a little bit of time spent on our own trying to find our place in this race. Place in this race, I'm a poet, I don't know it. So let's see if we can have a fight with these guys and have a closer look at what these models look like from the rear bumper. I've gone down a gear too many again. I keep forgetting that bit. I could do with putting the UI on actually, just to give me some indication of where I'm at. Quite closely geared. That were a bit cheaty, so I'll get off the throttle because I don't want to overtake him, having skipped over the end of that chicane. Let's be fair about these things, Paul. And now we're on the inside into this turn, so I'm going to come onto the brakes, follow it around the outside, get on the gas early. He's got a shorter route to the exit of the corner, so he holds advantage. I'm going to look again at the outside, a bit of understeers playing over the bumps. Shift up a gear, we're still on the outside, but we may have enough of a run. I had to lock the car up then because I'd absolutely categorically missed my braking point. I dare say my face showed fear on the camera then. I thought we were going straight off. I thought that was going to be game over for us, but we managed to catch it, thankfully. We've not lost too much ground, so we're still very much in the thick of the fight with these guys. Lost one position, but that's no bad thing because it gives us somebody else to play with. And that's a good thing about these cars. They are quite forgiving. I mean, I got it wrong in a big way into that corner then, but a little bit of manipulating on the brake pedal just to get the thing to stop locking up and turn back in again, keep it calm, and more often than not, most situations even in English, most situations you get yourself into, you can get yourself back out of again. I mean, this track isn't really conducive to doing lots of throwing the car about and getting it sideways, but Caterhams like to be abused, they like to be thrown around, they like to go sideways, and this mod feels like it's one of those where that sort of... I've done it again. This time we've got some grass though, so that's going to make it even harder. Yeah, this feels like one of those mods where it's going to reward you for throwing the car around. It's going to give you a satisfying and rewarding feedback for giving it some beans and getting it chucked into the corners. It's got a little bit of understeer initially if you're too aggressive on the turning. So you need to set the car up on the brakes. You need to set the car up and the weight transfer up to get that momentum going around the corner. And it's not got ridiculous amounts of horsepower either, so you're not going to be lighting your rear tyres up on corner exits, so you can't rely on the loud pedal really to bring it round too much. But it's catchable. You can get slides in this car quite nicely. And It's not going to go away from you too far, which again, that's a Caterham. That's a Caterham thing. Don't forget, these cars were initially influenced heavily by Colin Chapman as well, with a Lotus 7. And Lotus are renowned for being drivers' cars, for having fantastic chassis, for being a real treat for the driver behind the wheel. And that's a philosophy. Keep it light, keep it simple, keep it engaging. That's a philosophy Caterham have lived by since practically the beginning of time, and still maintain up to this day how they do their cars, apart from their Formula 1 project, which didn't do any of those things and was an absolute disaster. But we'll not talk about that. We don't need to know about things like that. We'll forget about the Caterham Formula 1 team, because it was a Caterham in name only anyway, so it doesn't really. It's more a marketing exercise than anything else. It wasn't a true factory Caterham effort. But this car, I mean, I have no idea how many of these have been sold, how many Caterham 7s have gone through people's hands over the years, but there must be tens of thousands. For a small little firm like this, there must be tens of thousands of these bought, sold and raced in the UK and further afield on a daily and weekly and monthly basis. At any given racetrack, practically at any given time, you'll probably find either a Caterham race or a race including Caterham cars in it, because they're that popular, they're that accessible. There's not a ridiculous amount going on mechanical wise, so you can, anybody with a moderate amount of technical knowledge can get the panels off, get under the hood and service their car, or take it to the local garage to be serviced, unlike some of these modern race cars where you need laptops and degrees in engineering to understand what's going on. This is just a mechanical car. I say just, because everything that's in it is just the things that need to be in it to make a fantastic driving experience. And I still hanker after owning a Caterham of some kind at some stage in the future. I think I'll have to make do with the virtual version, to be perfectly honest, but one never knows. Maybe one day might win the lottery, get a much better job. Or someone might take pity on me, a long-lost relative that I don't know might bequeath me one of these in their last will and testament. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But you know what? This mod is that good that driving any of these Caterhams that Ben has created for AC fills that gap between not having a real one and wanting one quite nicely indeed. And I can do it all from the comfort, safety and warmth of my own home. I can drive virtually any track in the whole world as long as it's out for Assetto Corsa, and it feels like pretty much any track of any worth is out for Assetto Corsa. So not a bad alternative if you ask me that. I'll take it. I'll take it with gratitude. That's one of the many reasons why I love sim racing. The fact that you can do this sort of thing to a very high degree of realism without having to spend thousands of pounds risking life and limb. That's just telling the wife I spent thousands of pounds. But risking life and limb and travelling the world, you can do it all to a very high standard in your own home. Sim racing, people, is awesome. I think I've said that before, and I shall be saying it again, I am sure. So overall then, summary and impressions of the 1995 Caterham Super 7 Sprint, and in particular this updated new clamshell model. Excellent, really, really excellent. On the gear I'm using, it feels perfect from a physics and feedback point of view. On the computer I'm using, it runs nice and smooth. It feels like it's got some good performance optimization. The audio sounds good. I don't know if this is borrowed audio or created specifically for the car, that I do not know, but the audio sounds very appropriate for what it's supposed to be. The attention to detail that's gone into the model is, as always, really nice. The cockpits look good. It works with the night mod. If you're using Content Manager, it's got various other working dials and whatnot. The choice of using the clamshell shape and design is really welcome and really nice as well. Adds an extra element of something different, so that's the choice of what Ben has selected is a very good one, and I'm very pleased about that too. So yeah, there's nothing really I can say in the negative about this. The only, I suppose, one negative thing I could say is, where have you been all my life? Why were you not here in 1995? But we ain't got a time machine. My computer is not Skynet, so I'll have to enjoy it all in 2019. It's fabulous. Absolutely love it. Hope you've enjoyed our video, guys. I've been Paul, which you should know by now, I'm sure, and it'd be no surprise to tell you that you've been watching RDTV. This video's aired first on Twitch, so if you want to catch everything as it happens first and foremost, then don't forget to give us a like, follow and a subscribe. We're also featuring this on YouTube at a later date, so if you're watching on YouTube, hello, thank you. Again, please do give us a like and a subscribe. That would be absolutely excellent. And all that's left is for me to wish you a very lovely rest of your day. Sim racing is awesome, so are you guys, so are our fantastic modding community. Don't know what we do without you people, so thank you for everything that you do. Thank you, Ben, for these absolutely barnstorming Caterhams. And yeah, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Paul, this has been RDTV. We've been driving the 1995 Caterham Super 7 Clamshell Edition in Assetto Corsa. See you next time.